Hi class, this is the wrap-up conclusion portion of the video. A brief overview is Jill is a 32-year-old female. She's never been married. She has a younger brother and an older brother, and she does have some family issues. And between her and her brother, there's a little bit of tension there. She works for the government as a travel coordinator, and that has caused the bulk of her concerns and issues. Socioeconomically, she's fairly well. There's no real financial burdens or financial delinquencies when talking about that. For my client, she came to me because she's been having some issues at work with the lack of leadership, and it's been causing her to feel nervousness and jittery at work. She's been there for over 8 years, and during the past 3 months or so, she has been noticing a more jittery sort of nervousness at work, and she doesn't know how to deal with that, how to cope with that. She does have some strengths. She does like to do art stuff on the weekends. What else? So, with that being said, as you can see from the video, I did not discuss much of her strengths. I think that's one challenge. I have several challenges, and that being one of them. There's certain areas that I did not get into that I should have perhaps got into. Use of strengths is one. I did not discuss a whole lot about the family and her relationship with her brother and her mother. I also talked more about work and not so much about how her finances can be used as a strength. Most of the things that were discussed at work were once again due to lack of leadership, causing her jitterness, and though she is going to school as well, I did not discuss that a whole lot either. So I think maybe I should have started off with getting a better sense of family and building from family to school, and from school to finances, and from finances to work. Maybe that is something the way it should have flowed, but for this, it just didn't. It just kind of started off and dove right into work, and the stresses that were coming along with that. I think initially I started off good with asking her to tell me more about herself. And once again, we got to know that she has siblings, got to know about her job, school, dating, etc. I think there was maybe a little hiccup when she was talking about herself and her job, and we kind of stayed with the job theme for a moment, and I jumped over to talk about school, and I think that kind of messed up the flow of it, and maybe I should have stayed on talking more about her job more and find a way to come back to the topics that I kind of wanted to make sure we talked about at least, which was school, finance, dating, siblings, and knowing more about the client. So I think as far as that overall sense, could have been better. The other part that was a challenge, I think, was the theory. I think I should have explained the theory a little more, or to her at all. I didn't do that. I pretty much said, hey, this is a technique, and this is how it works. I think I presented it okay. I think I messed up a little bit when we were talking about automatic thought and the assumptions behind the thought. I think kind of got lost a little bit with that. What I wanted to get away from the her writing it down was her to understand the difference between behaviors and thoughts, and to understand how assumptions make you think a certain way, and then in turn that's making you feel a certain way and behave a certain way. So I understand that, but I don't think I communicated that well enough. So I'm looking for some feedback on that, on how that could be achieved. Of course, the more you do it, the more practice you get at it, the better you're going to become. Once again, too, I think I could have discussed more, like I said, more theory, what cognitive theory means, how that differentiates between, say, psychodynamic, what cognitive restructuring means, and how this model fits into that, and maybe do educate the client a little bit more as to what we're trying to achieve. I think toward the end we sort of had a better sense of what she understood, at least what some of the triggers were and what the relationship was between her thought and causes that, and to understand how those work and how to notice them and to change how you think and react to that process. So I think those are pretty much the big challenges that I had with my client. I think overall it went fairly easy. There's no real concerns. It just maybe, to reiterate a little more description on my part, a little bit better of a layout on discussion. So maybe I opened up good, but I didn't. The in between is a little still blurry with that. Practice effectiveness, I think generally okay, but I'm interested to hear the feedback from you all, particularly some of you who have been doing this for a while. Jill is once again a fictitious character, and I'm glad I was able to at least establish, as I have not done in the past, that the confidentiality portion. She is aware that everything that we do discuss is confidential. I think I did that good. And other than that, those were my challenges. And I'm looking forward to doing more videos and seeing how things work out. And I hope to get some good feedback from everybody on improvements or techniques and tactics on how to flow things in a better way. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you.